been a minute since I did one of these, but hello. If y'all don't know, my name's LAxChaos. This is the community podcast where we talk everything gaming, comics, anything that we feel like you might be of interest. Today I have three people from the GI Discord. Before I introduce them, if you guys want to jump on the community podcast, all you guys gotta do is go to the GI Updates Patreon and go to the right tier. You'll be able to join the GI Discord and also get a chance to do one of these, jump on a video that we may have planned. Let's go to top down. Let's introduce yourself, Redux. Tell the people where they can find you at and all that shit.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's AschRedux. That's ASCH Redux REDUX. I'm on Twitch and Twitter. Catch me streaming. Catch whatever I'd be tweeting about. I don't say much, but when I do, it matters.
Hey, how's it going? It's Mr. HotDev6. I don't really have anything to plug. My Twitter's a little complicated in terms of spelling, so maybe I'll just put it in the description. And yeah, happy to be here.
What up? How everybody doing? Let's start this shit.
Yeah, you already know. You know where to find them at if you know where to find them at. Yes, the first piece of news is actually about one of the iconic games that people think is iconic, but I just think it's aight. Naughty Dog is being reported that Naughty Dog is remaking The Last of Us for the PlayStation 5. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this topic because at first when this news broke out, it was a big rumor. I didn't believe it, and then when it was kind of gaining traction that it might be believable, I was like, okay, is it a remaster or a remake? Because there's a difference. A remake is changing up the mechanic, might even change up the story, you know. But a remaster is kind of what Last of Us has already done when it dropped on the PS3 and they went to the PS4. That was a remaster, the first one. Is being said that it is actually going to be a remake. We don't know the reasons why. We don't know any like real details about it, but that is from what the public is getting right now. That it is a remake of the first one. You guys' thoughts about Last of Us getting a remake? Does it need it?
Nah, I don't need it. It don't need it for real. Y'all care if I go first?
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So for me, like I get it. The original game came out in like what 2012, 2013. It was a while ago, so I understand that. But the PS3 version still doesn't even look that bad. The PS4 version looks great to me, honestly. Like it's not, it's not 4K 60 FPS or something, but it still looks decent. And then like you said, with a remake, they update features and stuff. So like if you look at other series that have remakes, when they like remake, so like an easy one is Pokemon, right? When Pokemon is a remake, it has the same features as the actual current gen game that is being compared to. Even though it's for like an older generation game. While for this one, it's like Last of Us 2 added crawling in grass and like better rope physics or something. I don't really know much. I didn't like 2, so I didn't finish it. But it's like if they did a remake, I don't know what they would add other than that. So it wouldn't be too different from the original game. It still looks fine and it's easily accessible. It don't need a remake at all.
I'll say that I enjoyed Last of Us 1, so I don't think it does need a remake. If they want to remaster it, I'm fine with that. But I didn't like 2 for many reasons that's probably have already been talked about. I'm not gonna sit here and go through it. But if you guys know, I love making fun of shit. I love going over the top. All right, I like to troll, and these are gonna be one of those moments where I'm gonna troll and I'm gonna shit on something, and if y'all take it serious, then y'all take it serious. I don't care. But this just goes to show you a good example of how shitty Last of Us 2 was. That they said, you know what, let's just remake the first one and just change up everything. So that's probably why they're doing it. They're going to go back. They're going to be like, all right, Last of Us 2 is so ass. Let's just change history. Let's just change it all.
That's crazy.
It's
not even a remake, it's a reboot.
Yeah, like it just reboot everything. But the funny thing is about this, that someone did mention in one of the streams that is even better, like an idea, a theory, is that everyone knows that The Last of Us is coming out with the TV show pretty soon, from HBO. Their theory is that what happens if like the story and the character change is because of the HBO. So I forgot his name, but the guy that
Pedro
plays the
Pascal.
Mandalorian is being played. He's playing Joel. So what happened if it's their face and the story is changed to like what the HBO is going off of? That makes a little bit more sense. But then again, it's like, to me, that's a cash grab. That's like one of those type of things. But what do y'all think? High def.
I kind of get that theory, but isn't already like Joel and Ellie the story for the HBO series? It's just like a remake of the first video game, right?
Yeah.
No, it's its
Well,
own story. I thought,
Yeah, it's its own story. Yeah. But it's gonna be loosely
but
based
it's
off
gonna
of
be
it.
inspired from
Yeah, inspired.
the game.
Okay, yeah, all right. Then that makes a lot more sense if that's the case. But how you mentioned earlier about how it's like because The Last of Us 2, I guess like flopped in some sense. They're trying to make the remake. I think it's because they see how like they have this strong core fan base for Last of Us 2. Maybe they can just keep pumping out these games and they're going to get supported. So that's what I think, really. Just trying to capitalize on their on their cult following that you've seen on Twitter most of the time.
Yeah, they definitely got a cult following, man. Because I remember when that Last of Us 2 came out, it was very divided. There was one that hated it, which I was on. There's one that, you know, enjoyed it and thought it was a masterpiece.
Mm.
I can say I hate it, but I could see the art of it, like the appreciation. I don't know, like
Yeah.
when people get caught up on the reviews, it's been about a year or and some change. Um,
Yeah, it's about to be.
yeah. So like I can say, like, now that like I feel like I've said this before. Like I hate the game. If I hate something, okay. So back then, let's just give an example of the NBA. Before LeBron was on the Lakers, I hated that man, but I appreciated what he's done for the game. I hate Last of Us too, but you know I could still see why it was deemed a masterpiece, because people like art, and that's pretty much what game is art.
Mm.
So it's eye of the beholder type
But it's
shit.
not a revenge story.
Oh yeah, I don't like. That's one of those things. Like I will die on the hill. It was a revenge story. It. I don't care
No,
what people say.
don't say that. It's
Nah,
not a
bro.
revenge story.
It was.
It's not. It's not.
Don't turn it into the. Don't make the whole podcast that, because you know we'll be here.
You will be here for a while. People gonna put in the comments shit. What do you think, Tony? Like, do you like that theory of the HBO shit? I know you probably heard of
I
it.
think that's what they're gonna do, honestly, because they're gonna get like a big name actor right now, Pedro,
Yeah.
and I think he's
Pascal.
just gonna be the new face of Joel, and they're just gonna reboot everything.
You know what's
with
funny?
the story and the HBO connect.
Oh, you know what? They announced Joel's brother not too long ago. For those of you, I don't know his name. But he was the ghostwriter of Agents of Shield. Gabriel.
know.
I think it's Gabriel Luna, and I'm not gonna. I liked him as ghostwriter. I like the actor, but I just thought it was funny because he's Mexican, and you know Pablo Pascal. He's like I believe he's Mexican. And so people, you know, the comments are like, "Wow, so Joe's Latin now, right?" And you know, it was a bunch of like,
I mean,
and I laughed. I was like, "Yeah, we finally got one of them."
they retcon Joel.
Fuck, that shit's funny though. Yeah, I think the whole remake stuff, if it's the HBO stuff, I don't know how would it feel. I just don't think it's necessary. Like we talked before, it's too early. And also the remaster of there was a remaster of it, so it's like we don't even got to complain about graphics. The
No.
Yeah.
mechanics were polished
remaster
pretty
looks fine.
much. And
Mhm.
Last of Us 2, like you don't you guys need to touch that if you guys want to like even if the game was so bad, the story was bad or something, I feel like going back and changing a story, I don't know. I wouldn't want to play it. I don't know. I feel like that's like a Zack Snyder verse. Like they're trying to restore it, you know, restore the Last of Us
Yeah.
verse type shit.
Um,
real quick, I wanted to for the HBO thing. Even if they don't like change like the character models to match the actors for the HBO series, I
Mhm.
definitely think it's at the bare minimum they're doing it like you said as a cash grab because like when the Witcher show was on Netflix or whatever, the game started selling more. So I feel like it's an excuse to charge $70 for it on next gen consoles is to make the remake. So even if they don't change the character models or nothing, just to be like, oh yeah, if you want to play like the best version of the game on the newest consoles after watching this series, here you go.
They're trying to
Here's
like
70
bump up the
bucks.
price.
There might be
Yeah.
a random sale, both of the games together. Watch.
Oh, for sure. Um,
Yep.
Speaking about gaming prices and full price and shit, because Redux has mentioned it. When this came out, I didn't mention this because we're about to talk about the topic right now. But Days Gone, all this rumored stuff with the remake of Last of Us, um, it was also brought up that Days Gone, a sequel to Days Gone, was actually canceled because they were gonna do the Last of Us remake. Um, Now this is where I was like, okay, that makes no sense because at this time, um, as of right now, I'm actually playing Days Gone, and I think I think it's a okay game, and I feel like it has some promising things that it's got going. It's not like one of those masterpiece games where it's a 10 out of 10 or even a 9 out of 10, but it's good enough to where I was like, okay, I can see this game getting a sequel. So when this news came out, I was kind of like, wow, that's kind of crazy because we don't need a Last of Us remake, and I feel Days Gone 2 would have been better. But the dev said, pretty much, don't complain if a game doesn't get a sequel. It doesn't if it doesn't get support at launch. So Days Gone was not one of those games that did get a lot of support from launch. But to defend the consumer here, when Days Gone launched, I remember there was it was buggy. It had a lot of
It's
problems.
boring.
It was, yeah. It's one of those games where honestly, I'm gonna have to look at the scheduling on when it dropped, but I could see this game not getting picked up because of like where it was.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's always a big issue.
because like if it's I'll give a game a chance. Like right now, there's no really games that have dropped right now, so I'll give other games chance that that look average to me. So
Mm.
Days Gone, it was that game because it was on PlayStation Plus. I get it for free. So I was like, all right, I'll try this game out. We'll see how it is, and that's when I'll play it. But I think the dev was definitely hurt because people are complaining. Damn, we should have got Days Gone 2. And when they start to complain, he's pretty much said, well, y'all gotta have to buy the game at full price and pre-order the game because it supports the devs a little bit more than getting it later. And I understand what he's saying, but he's got to look at it like these other examples, kind of like Outriders, which we'll talk about later on. We have Cyberpunk, which is like a big issue in the gaming community when a lot of people pre-order a game and buy it up front. They get this shitty result, and then they're like shit out of luck. Especially when we talk about like the Cyberpunk stuff, because remember, like they were trying to refund it on PlayStation, and the Cyberpunk devs were like, "Oh, we'll give you the refund no matter what." They ended up getting screwed. There's some shit there, so there's a lot of issues of pre. I understand there's a lot of issues of pre-ordering the game. If you don't know a lot about it, and also Days Gone marketing, it sucked. I remember when it dropped, I was like, damn, this game dropped. So, I mean, there's a lot to like talk about of this certain situation. What do you guys think about like what the dev said, like buying a game at full price and on all that shenanigans, Tony?
I searched up what other games came out in the same month, and the only game was Mortal Kombat 11. So I
That
think this game was just not appealing to anybody. That's why nobody bought it. I'll be honest.
like I might be
The month
wrong,
before, though,
but the
Sekiro dropped.
marketing I felt like it dropped out of nowhere.
And
I-
also at the zombies were already just like zombie games were just not appealing to everybody. at the time. So many games had already come out that were zombie games.
Mm-hmm.
We
I
did have
think
a
people were
large
just
influx of
tired.
zombies.
People were just tired of zombie games.
Oh, and then also to mention, because I believe this game did get delayed maybe once or twice. I know it got delayed once. Um, and it was like first revealed at 2016, but then it was supposed to come out 2018. It got pushed back 2 months, and that's all to like kind of say when a game does that and it loses its steam. It got delayed. I believe twice. I want to say twice, maybe 3 times. And then it drops with no marketing on it. You can't blame the consumer for saying, "Hey, yo, support the game." Blah blah blah. Nah, because if you delay a game and it still comes out with bugs and stuff like that, where it's like, all right, we're gonna have to knock it down some. People are not gonna jump to that game. And then plus, like Tony said, Mortal Kombat 11, it's a big game, so it is gonna take people away from that game. It may not even get all of them. But yeah, what do you guys think, Redux?
So for me, like I definitely, like you were saying earlier, I get the whole reason to not pre-order. While a lot of people say to hold off on pre-ordering in almost any sense, not even just in the gaming market, but like anything tech-wise, like hold off on pre-ordering. Uh, I only pre-order at this point if it's something it's like a very well-known IP. I'm already a big fan of that series, and I'm virtually find it impossible that they're gonna let me down. So like, what was it? When they announced like the God of War, what year did that come out? 2019? I don't remember. The latest
Yeah.
God of War game.
Yeah.
When they said that, I'm like, it's not about to be trash. So I know it wasn't going to be trash, and I'm gonna at least enjoy like playing the game. So I pre-ordered it. I'm a big fan of JRPGs. So like for the Persona series, when they came out Persona 5, I knew I was gonna like it. There was no doubt. I pre-ordered it. If it's a brand new IP, if it's from a studio or have never played any other games that they've made, I know nothing about it, and there's no demo, I'm not pre-ordering that. Even if I thought it looked interesting, which I did. I had like the zombie like trend like just die down inside of me. I got tired of zombies. I like seeing the fact it's like, oh wait, it's not just like super slow zombies or like the super crazy zombies in like Left 4 Dead or something like that. No, it's just hordes of zombies. I like that concept a little bit better. For me, is like, try to be stealthy, don't get overrun by a bunch of zombies. You can't take them all out. That's impossible. It feels more overwhelming. It's more tense. I thought the concept was cool, but since there was no demo, and I probably like already had bought something either the previous month or whatever, and I didn't feel like buying another game at full price without prior knowledge, it's just not gonna happen. I agree with what he said. If you want to really support, then that's what you do, which is why I do it for known IPs. I think anybody who has a new IP should have a demo, something. If you don't have a demo, a beta, or anything, don't expect pre-orders, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also kind of like to add in what you said, new IPs and stuff like that. That's why like when we used to get on devs and these studios who not announce, like it could be their first announcement and then you don't show gameplay, but that's why we're always so hard on like, yo, show us the gameplay, and not just like because now obviously audience are catching on that these gameplay demos that they show at panels, it is almost scripted all the time. But
Right.
that's there were certain games when they would bring out the person to play it live right then and there, and that can
Yep.
be nerve-wracking. But when you show us that you had that much confidence in doing things like that, and doing things like demos, because demos is not always like a normal thing to do. Like when Outriders did it, and they were like, okay, you're showing us a demo. It has some bugs here and there in the demo, but you're confident enough to say we're gonna put it out there for y'all to play. So then I was like, okay, I'll take a look at it when it drops. That makes me more safe to assume that it's gonna be taken care of.
I feel that.
What do you think, Def?
Uh, and I learned my lesson when it comes like pre-ordering like a couple months ago. Like when Avengers released their beta that came out, or like yeah, their beta demo. Played it. I looked at the bugs, but I was still on that Avengers high, so I pre-ordered the game anyways,
Mm.
and it was not any better.
Mhm.
So after that, I was like, all right, I don't want to waste my money again like this ever again. So
Oh,
I
so
realized that
that's a question I want to ask you because for me, pre-ordering game, like I take it as like I'm gonna pre-order a game because I know I'm gonna play the game, not if I know I'm gonna like the game. Because for instance, I pre-ordered Last of Us 2. I was gonna play the game, um, but I don't regret pre-ordering the game to be honest because I knew I was gonna play it, and also maybe I'm looking at it differently as a content creator. Like I know that when I was gonna pre-order the game, I wanted to stream the game day one on the dot. You know,
Mhm.
so like I said, I don't really regret pre-ordering games ever, especially if I'm gonna want to stream it for some reason. Um, but yeah, like how do you look at it, Def? Like when you pre-order a game, do you regret ever? Like I know you said it right now, but do you really regret like pre-ordering games?
I regret it from a money sense. But
Okay.
like from when it comes to like actually like playing the game, I did have a lot of fun just because like I felt like the combat in the game was really fun,
Mm-hmm.
and just playing as like I don't think we've had like a really dope Avengers game. Maybe they have like some Lego Avengers out there, but to me that was like their opportunity to like put some real fire out. So when I was playing it and like just being immersed in the gameplay and stuff like that, I was like, all right, I'm actually having a good time. I just wish there's more in the game for me to have a good time. But yeah, like you said, I don't know if I regret the actual playing of the game, but I just regret it from like a my wallet sense.
Yeah, yeah, and you can. I'm not even. I just wanted to know how you feel about it. Um, I want to ask Tony this because I think I know, but like, have you ever like regretted pre-ordering a game and supporting right off the bat?
Um, I don't think so, because I haven't pre-ordered many games, and most of the ones that I did actually like beat the whole game.
I feel
Like
like you
even
get
even
pressured in
Cyberpunk,
buying the game.
I get pre-pressured to
Yeah,
people in general.
I mean, just people in general, like they get that FOMO,
Uh,
and they be like, oh
not to
man,
miss out.
everyone feels like, for instance, the recent shit with Outriders, like people jump on and be like, hey, it's good, man. I don't know, it has problems, but it's good. And then like I remember Tony
Oh
getting
my
it, and
god.
then like he had problems, and he just said, you know what, nah, it's not for me. Like I get that way sometimes, like when it becomes a FOMO, or seeing people like interested in maybe a game I might be interested. For instance, we playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't think I would have ever bought it if y'all weren't playing it. Like I
Right,
wouldn't buy
right.
it because I like Yu-Gi-Oh. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't buy it just for myself.
Mhm.
And all that
Right.
shit. There's certain games um where later on a game might pop off. So I understand what the dev's saying about like wanting it and buying it, but also uh this is like a very it's not a part of the rule. This is not an example of it, but Among Us, it popped off way later on in its
2 years
lifetime.
later.
Yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like if it could gain some traction, and you're supporting the game long term and stuff like that, you'll definitely get the community going back into it. And I'm not sure. I don't know what to say because this the topic of buying a game at full price, to get a sequel or something like that, and you can't complain about it. I'm not sure about that one. I understand what he's saying, but I also don't fully agree with it. Oh, let's see. Let's move on to the next topic here. But before we move on, would actually wanted to ask this question: have y'all played Days Gone? And if you have, would you guys want another Days Gone game?
Never played it, never will.
Damn, that's crazy.
Dang.
I'm not
I'm being
into
honest. I'm being honest.
I'm not into that type of RPG type stuff. At least for zombie games. I don't want to play an RPG zombie game.
Damn.
Uh, I actually do want to play it. I was thinking about getting it, and then when I saw it was coming to PC, I figured that'd be the version I get. So I'm just waiting for the
Yeah,
PC drop.
it is
Basically,
coming to PC. Damn, so that dev, man, that dev, you y'all just, if you would have heard this, y'all made him pissed by saying all that shit.
hey,
I don't give a fuck.
if he gave me a demo, I probably would have got it. That's on him.
Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie. I get
There's
the
too many zombie games out there, bro. I'm tired of it. I'm gonna be honest.
Like I
fucking
said, that one
sick
look a
and
little
tired.
different. It look
know-
a little
you know what,
different.
You know what is also like a good example of like a good kind of like fun zombie game that where Days Gone is kind of like World War Z game. Yeah, it's co-op. It's like um it's co-op and the zombies are it's World War Z zombies, so they get crazy. There's hordes in there and shit like that. There's gadgets. So that type of game would be a way better suited for it. And I say that to say because Days Gone 2, I believe, was gonna play around with maybe doing co-op, and I was like, damn, like a good. I feel like whenever time we get a zombie game that's co-op, it's like the Left 4 Dead type shit, and I'm like,
Yeah.
World
Yeah,
War
I
Z type
would've
shit where
remembered World
like
War
it
Z.
overruns. Yeah, I would have loved that type of shit. And even I played recently. I played the Zombie Army games, and even that's like rinse and repeat, and I don't really care for it. But yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know what's safety. Days Gone. Sorry. Let's move on. We talked about remakes with Last of Us. Let's talk about this other so-called iconic. Now this is a really good one right here. This is good news. Star Wars: The Knights of the Old Republic remake is probably gonna be coming. It was rumored. It's been reported that the first Knights of the Old Republic is getting a remake by the studio Aspire. They have done old Star Wars games to port over games like Star Wars Episode 1 Racer and also Jedi Outcast, so they have had their hands into like porting games, but this one will be a full remake of the classic RPG. What do y'all think about that? I'll to give you like my opinion on it. I feel like this is much needed. Only because I've played Star Wars Knights of Old Republic a couple months ago, and I love the story, love like the game. It will always be a classic, but I feel like there is always certain things when the game is that old that you could polish up the
Yeah.
mechanics. You could even just the the graphics and be improved, and all that stuff. So it definitely could be improved. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I think it was time for them to either remake the game or just make a new one. Because honestly, this is probably like one of the best Star Wars games.
Damn,
It
like
had a good
both of them
story, and you
too.
could pick so many classes. I feel like the remake is gonna do good.
Yeah, you know
for
what?
it.
You know what would really be like if they were add this to the game, it would probably be like game of the year, no matter if it's a remake or not. Just put romancing in there. You know, I want to romance with the droids and shit.
All right, that's where I
All
leave the
right.
That's just
podcast.
me?
I'll see y'all later.
Oh damn, that's crazy. All right, made me feel left out. Nah, but it is iconic and is like one of those games I just talked about. But like you said, yeah. What do you think, High Def? Do you think this game is a need of a remake?
Um, I just like to see like a lot of the old classic games to be remaked for our current gen, just because of the opportunity that's there to like either show the people who haven't played like myself like how dope it was back in the day. Because like I'll be honest, like when I see those like wild old graphics, I don't. It kind of like doesn't motivate me to go play it. So I'm like, so if they do remaster, I'll pick it up. But I do got a question for y'all though. Like, how deep do you want the remaster to be? Do you want it to be like a reimagining of like the entire thing, like something like Diablo 2, where it's just like a graphics upgrade, or do you want them to actually like look at the mechanics, change some things, maybe add some things in there?
I need them to change the mechanic because, for instance, I believe
Some of the animations
like,
are fucking.
I believe you can't play with controller on PC, and like some stuff like where they could fix up and tune some things like that, and like the smoothness of running maybe, because like it back in the day, which is like straight left forward, and it was kind of like everything felt stiff, especially for even like the MMO Star Wars game. That's one of the things I do have a problem with it. It feels stiff, and I don't know how far they could like go into remaking it and like changing that up. But if they could just make some things where it just feels smoother, and the UI could get cleaned up and stuff like that, then it would definitely be a way better time than playing the old version of it.
Yeah, because if they just upgrade the graphics, it's still gonna have like the very bad mechanics from like the old game.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
What do you guys think?
I mean, I didn't. Well, that's a lie. I played a little bit of Knights of the Old Republic like last year. I just wanted to try it out because everybody who I know is a really big Star Wars fan. Not saying I'm not a fan, but I know people are much bigger fans than I am. They tell me it's like one of the best Star Wars games. When I looked up, like, oh yeah, what Star Wars game should I play? That's always like number one on people's lists. It's definitely old enough to warrant a remake. After playing it last year, yeah, it could definitely just some polishing. Obviously, the graphics bring those up to. I mean, if they made that game look like what Force no, was it is that the last one? Force Unleashed, was that it? I forget what it was called.
No.
Yeah, the EA game. I forget already. That's crazy. I liked it. Point is that that last EA Star Wars game that came out, they made the graphics look something like that, or even if they went as far as like the Battlefront games, because those games still look good too. Definitely warrants a remake. Give me Force Unleashed remake as well though, because that was my favorite one.
That one can't even just get a remaster. And
That
be
was still
fine.
fairly new though. Yeah, I would just
Yeah.
like expect the graphics upgrade for that.
No, the what is it? Not the one with the clone or whatever. They had two games. The second one wasn't nearly as good.
Oh,
as the
you're
first one.
talking
Oh,
about
Force
um,
Unleashed.
No, he's not
Yeah.
talking about Force Unleashed. He's
Yeah,
talking about
that's
the
the one
clone.
with the clone.
No,
You
you
said
talk-
two
you-
games
You're talking about
with the clone.
you're
You're talking about when you're playing the evil.
he's
Star
talking
Wars
about the
game?
Republic Commander game. He just
I
said
don't know, bro.
clones.
I think he's right. The Force Unleashed is. I think it is. Hold on.
That's
He's
the
a
one-
I got
clone.
y'all.
Yes, he's a clone, but that's a Jedi. That's a lightsaber one. He said clone, and I take it as the clones, as the Clone Wars.
Oh no,
I
no,
took it
no.
as Force Unleashed.
Nah, I meant
Oh,
Force
fuck.
Unleashed. Yeah, the one where you're he's a clone and he's works under Darth Vader in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
they could
that,
remake
now
one
I'm
too
thinking
for
about
me,
this.
Game is
Star
fire.
Wars is just full of clones.
too. but you know, it definitely at this point in time could use a remake. People still play it to this day, and I feel like it'd be kind of cool to see like a resurgence of the fan base. You know, people coming back to play the remake, a greater community that starts to thrive and stuff like that, and kind of bring like a huge player base. I'm sure for people coming back for nostalgia and new players. So a remake for that game is smart.
I will say,
and-
off a remake, just that of that game, I feel like where I've always had the issue with like Star Wars games, and like kind of why I enjoy now that Star Wars is getting made by different people, like Respawn and stuff like that. You know, we had, I think, Fallen Order, which was a fucking amazing game of Star Wars, right? So now that other studios are finally getting their hands on it, I'm happy just that new Star Wars games are getting made now. But also, I'm very surprised that because you know the audience of Star Wars games have always been big. Like even now, like if you go back and play Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy, there's probably still some people playing. You'll find like a small community and shit like that. And
Right.
obviously there's people playing Knights of the Old Republic here and there. I'm very surprised they don't do more remakes. I don't know if that just because you know people are playing it and they don't really care for, not to say like they don't care for a remake to happen, or maybe the studio just say like, oh, you know, if it you know if it's not broken, don't mess with it, or type thing.
Remember, Disney owns it now.
Yeah,
So
so
it could be Disney.
yeah, like in Disney, come on, Disney. That's uh, that's why, like I said, like I'm glad now the studios are getting their hands on it because now they could actually do some shit. But yeah, would you guys want like more Star Wars games to have a remake? Because they're all
Yes.
pretty damn good, to be honest.
Yes, absolutely.
Tony,
Yeah,
Yeah, I need more games to play.
more games.
more yang, more Star
More
Wars
games.
games, man. Yeah. Hopefully that's all that stuff is gonna get polished up though, because that is, like I said, is one of the most iconic RPGs out there. Um, that's pretty much all we got there. Let's talk about this game right here. We talked a little bit about it, hinted towards it. Outriders. Outriders has been out. People have played it. I have beat it. And all that jazz. I'm not sure if we're doing a full GI review, but if we are, I'll put it up on the GI channel. But yeah, there are a lot of people have played it. A lot of people hated it. A lot of people liked it because just to be 100%, it was filled with bugs and glitches and stuff like that. Where honestly,
Issues.
performance issues were like one of the top things. After like after like they did like the first couple patches, I was fine. But the one thing that really, really scared me about playing this game was actually something that was people were getting hit that I knew about, like Camp. There was a couple other people who have gone hit with this bug where your inventory just gets wiped out. And for those of you who don't know, this is a looter shooter. So if you have legendaries, a legendary gear, and that shit goes away, I would be fucking heated if that shit happened to me.
That's
Because
insane.
that's a lot of
Especially if
hours.
you actually
just
paid for the
get wiped.
game and not
Yeah.
even like Game Pass.
Yeah. And also like that's one of the reasons why I was kind of iffy about playing it. Now thankfully when I got through it, I beat the game and I didn't have like any real issues with it. It did crash on me here and there, but no inventory issues where I could say it took away my shit. But it did steer me away from playing it after I beat the game. I stopped playing the game after I beat it because I didn't want that shit to happen to me. And I believe as we are recording this, they did take away that bug out. So I will give them credit where credit's due. But yeah, like from what I've known about people getting those issues, they can't really recover the items. They could only give like the people who have lost stuff maybe a god tier like role. So if you go play these other missions, then it's almost like you're guaranteed you'll get a legendary back. And stuff like that. You just gotta put the time in again. But yeah, what do y'all think? I want to know because I like the game, but I understand the issues. I almost wouldn't recommend people getting it until they fix some stuff. But Tony, we talked about this before. What do you think about Outriders? Because I know you've tried it, and tell us I don't know, tell us his backstory of how you got into it.
Okay. Well, I think it was Benji, Ace, and Ace were playing, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get the game. So I bought it, and when I bought it, like I started playing, and right off the bat, the performance was just fucking trash. My frames were dropping from like 170 down to like 30, and I was like, nah, this is not for me, dog. After like maybe an hour, I just refunded the game, and I said, nah, I'm not playing this shit again. And then after the big patch that released, I tried the game again, and the performance is a lot better, but the game is still not where it should be.
As
So
like as
right
in
now I
what?
have it uninstalled.
As like in content or like performance issues still?
I'm still having some bugs and performance issues. Like some of the missions I couldn't complete because like some of the events, like doors have to open to go to the next part of the mission, wouldn't happen. Or like sometimes the frames would drop like randomly. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be playing this.
Yeah, that. It definitely sucks because I feel like the foundation of this game is definitely there, and like it is fun when it works. Like that's what I was always telling like Nomad, because Nomad's in, he loves the game and stuff like that, but he understands the issues. But I always tell him like I would play a lot more only if it didn't have like the wipe issue that was out there. And now that games are probably gonna be coming out right now, I am gonna be playing Mass Effect. It's like I'll get back to it if I do get back to it, when I do. But that's what I'll tell anybody thinking about getting into this game and they're hesitant. Um, they have fixed a lot of issues. There is still issues that are there, but at the foundation, I feel like this is a. If you played a looter shooter, I feel like you'll like this game. Um, but I'm not like I'm not really sure. Like it feels stiff at times, but the core at the foundation, like I said, they have something going for them. Um, Def, you've played the game. What are your thoughts about it? Just like looking, I guess, outside in if you haven't.
Yeah, I played the game. I was excited for this game because like I really like looter shooters and stuff like that. The game is like for the first 5 hours, like I feel like the gameplay was like really cool, but like for me, it gets really boring. Just the whole run towards enemies, shoot them, run towards enemies, just run. It feels like you're just like training the the enemies like you do in like COD Zombies. So you just run in a circle over and over, and then at the end you kill all of them.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
the gameplay loop was just it just gets tiring, and like you can only have like your gameplay has to be really fire if your story is like lacking. In my opinion, the story is not that good at all. It's just like very like cookie cutter type stuff.
I I'm not
And
gonna
like
lie. I agree with
I
you.
couldn't I just couldn't play it
I
for
I,
too
I
long.
agree with you only because like it was so to me that I just skipped a lot of the cutscenes and stuff like that. And one of the biggest problems I did have with the game is I did try, but I stopped trying because I joined somebody's game, right? I joined a friend's game, and they were ahead of where I was, which I don't mind getting spoiled on where they are. But what I did mind is when I went back to my game after like leaving them, it didn't like it didn't push me to do my missions. Like it just kind of skipped what I was supposed to
Oh, so
do.
it like overriding your save?
Um, I don't know if I would say that, but like I definitely didn't even play a boss battle because it didn't push me to do it. So I don't know if it overrided the save. I don't know if it thought where I started, where I was, or something like that. I know you could manually go back and like play it, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna manually go backwards. What you should have done is actually remember where I was maybe and like go forward from there or something like that. But I don't know, it's kind of iffy like that. I don't know how would they work that out. And also like I felt like some of the like you were saying how like it was kind of like almost like the bosses were just sponges, bullet sponges and stuff like that. Like that definitely
Yeah,
was
they
felt
are.
at times because of like the difficulty. Um, and it is pretty fucking hard once you like start going up in the world tiers and stuff like that. It becomes very difficult because the AI will not hold back. They will just like fucking bum rush you. Even if you take cover. Um, but yeah, Redux. What do you think about the game?
So like I played the beta or whatever. Um, I was kind of turned off as soon as I got to like some point where I had to like. All right, so I don't remember exactly because, like I said, I played the beta. That was a little bit ago, and there's a point where I had to jump, and they played a whole cutscene, basically, to disguise the loading that they're
Yeah,
doing for the
Yeah.
environment going in a cutscene. I was like,
I know what
I
you're talking about too.
honestly would have rather that you showed me a black screen. I just felt insulted by that
I
cutscene.
there's a
Uh,
lot of like
There's a
there's a
lot of
lot of
that.
those moments.
see, I can't do it. It's not even like I get it. I understand trying to disguise the loading screens and everything, but that also made me feel too when that happened. I was like, so this is not really like an actual next gen game because I figured if this was like an actual next gen game and it was built, for PlayStation 5s or on PC or Xbox next gen consoles and everything, that it'd be able to utilize the SSDs and not really have to worry about that. So
Hmm.
I was like, I guess this was really just a last gen game built for last gen and like optimize on next gen or whatever,
Nah,
or
bro.
current gen, I guess.
I ain't giving them that because like there's so many of those like moments where it didn't bother me, but it was noticeable because like there's even loading screens when you kill a bounty guy. He like stays on his knees and then you go up to him and it plays a cutscene for every time you do this. Mind you, there's a lot of those bounties that you could do. So you go to the guy and then it plays a cutscene of you pointing the gun at his forehead, shooting him. Right? I'm like, I didn't care for that. You literally could have killed the guy and it just picked up his like token or something, like just like a regular RPG. You didn't need a cutscene. There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those like stop and go moments where it's just like, all right, man, like, and then like if the game crashes on you or you have to restart or there's something out, it pisses you off even more because like, damn, you spend like all those. It adds up looking at those fucking loading screens, and there's a lot of the. It feels like like you have to go back and forth through these like loading screens, and it just I don't know. It's basically like instances of the world, and it's not open world, but it is linear, semi-linear, type shit.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so for me, it's like I played last gen games that did much better jobs with those. Like, I'm not saying obviously the scope might be different, how big the world is, everything has to load. I understand, but it's just like a game that came out. It came out like what, April? Didn't it come out this month? Is this no last?
It came out April 1st, I think.
Yeah, it came out sometime in April.
So it came out this month. So in 2021, and it has that many like little mini loading screens in it. And I definitely coming out this year, I felt like it should have been a next gen title. So I'm like, they obviously didn't utilize the resources there. I don't know. So I just wasn't that interested in playing it. I did hear when it first went down because I had people that I knew who were playing the game, about the whole wipe thing. And I just started thinking like, oh, I have Game Pass. I might as well just try it out or whatever. And it would be more fun to play with people I know. Obviously, any game gets more fun when you're playing with your friends, so it doesn't matter. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll just play it with them. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna just sit this one out for a little bit longer. I felt bad. I think actually one of them did actually end up losing, in his inventory wipe. I know what a looter shooter is. I played like Destiny and the Division, so I'm familiar with how it works. I didn't know what he was talking about, but I didn't know what the weapons were. But I'm guessing that's some pretty high tier stuff. Definitely sucks. I know, Kaz, you said, like you gave him the kudos for, like going in and fixing it. And I get what you mean. At the same time, like that was something that they had to do. So I was like, I don't even want to, not necessarily not give him kudos. Thank you for sticking and keeping with your game, like not just leaving it there because that's ignorant. But like how when you like did something as a kid,
it was like
might
something
think like, oh, your parents might congratulate
something they
you,
need
it's
to
like,
do.
nah,
I understand what
you had to do that.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, you know what it is. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like they don't get a cookie
But,
for doing what you're supposed to do.
For fixing the bug. But it is nice that they actually did it quick in a semi-quick fashion. Yeah.
I mean, even
the other thing, the servers, dog, the crossplay,
they were
at the beginning,
bro,
that shit was
the crossplay
broken.
didn't even work for like a couple days, and I felt bad for TPH because he got on PlayStation 5. Some of us got on
playing by
PlayStation,
himself.
PC, and like, bro, it didn't even work. And then when they did fix it, I don't know if it's fully fixed now, but when they did fix it, they told the missions that it showed, it said something along the lines of, "Hey, you can invite your friend, but it still may kick you out like during the game."
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, so it's like semi-fixed.
You should have just waited.
Yeah.
Matchmaking is crazy because like, if you have matchmaking enabled and you're just playing by yourself, a random person can just join your game if they like click on matchmaking.
Yeah.
If you have it open, anyone can join.
And I kick them out every time. I don't play no random.
But at that point, everything like your drops get reset if you add another person. That's why that people joining is bad.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, for someone outside looking in, I'm glad the game is getting patched up, worked on, what have you. And I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. It's on Game Pass, so why not? But I ain't gonna lie. I'm happy that I didn't buy it. I was actually very excited for it when I first saw it until I played the beta. Like when they first did the announcement trailer, I was like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
looks fire." I'm excited. They showed actual gameplay later. I'm like, "Oh, that still looks good." I'm excited. Played the beta, fell off. Start hearing all the issues, fell off even more. But once it gets fixed all the way, since it's already in Game Pass and I'm paying for that, it's like you might as well if people are still playing the game at that point.
Yeah, this
We'll see.
this goes back to like what the dev of Days Gone was saying. It's like you can't play full price up here, and it has all these issues and whatnot. I don't expect anybody to jump on this and pre-order or something like that. But I will say this game, like I said in the beginning, I still say it. Once they fix all the issues, maybe take a look at it if you get it on discount. If you could, I don't know, play it on the Game Pass maybe. I would say check it out. But yeah, there's still some issues. Nothing too crazy now, like those wipes that are in the game. But yeah, like these guys said, the frustrations and whatnot. Yeah.
Play with a friend if you can. It's way better.
Oh yeah, playing with your friends at the end
Yeah.
of games is a lot better. But I think we could start wrapping this up. It's been a shorter episode, but I think we got everything we need to talk about. Going from top down again, we'll say our goodbyes and whatnot, and tell people where they can find you at. Go ahead, Redux.
Once again, it is AschRedux. That's AschRedux. You can find me on Twitter and on Twitch. Come check me out. Play everything. Lately, I've been playing, going through the Yakuza series. That is ridiculous and hilarious and just fun to play in general. So if you like stuff like that, come check me out.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. High Def.
Yeah, it's Mr. High Def 6 in the Discord. I don't really have anything to plug, so yeah, just appreciate you having me.
Appreciate it, Tony. Tony?
If you know me, you know me.
The best outro.
Yeah, I appreciate these guys not for coming and participating in the community podcast of this month. Once again, if you guys want to join the community podcast and join the just Discord, you guys go to the Patreon Jaya updates and go to the tier and go ahead. It's a one-time fee to get into the Discord, and all that jazz. Yeah, we are out here. Appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all next month.